Hi YouTubers, it's nice to announce maybe Gluten for Vlog right now. So Gluten for Vlog number 104, pretty cool big ass year of life. Nice big ass gluten for life. So basically 104 weeks in the gluten for diet, pretty amazing. I mean over 104 weeks, over 100 weeks in the diet is just purely amazing. It is my new norm, it's just part of my life now. And I'm so happy because I can sleep well and I know I'm not doing any further damage to the gut, my small intestine. And the whole idea of the diet is just perfectly acceptable to me. I mean, when I first, was considering the diet over 2 years ago, I was nervous. I was like, this is going to be the right thing because I had tried it before. And it was such a hard diet to follow, hard ass like the big ass cigar. So it's like, but then I just, became part of my life. It's just part of my life now. I'm like, I don't, am not religious about it by the time. I don't mean religious as like Christianity. I'm talking religion like, being a fanatic or a zealot about it or an extremist. So I still go out to restaurants. Some people who are celiac disease don't even go out to restaurants because of the cross contamination issue. You know what? I'm not going to be that fanatic about it. And knock on wood, all my blood tests, all my endoscopy have come back normal, and they've shown that the villi is recovering. And for some people, I've read different studies. Some studies say it takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending on your age, for the villi to fully recover. But I mean, hopefully it's recovering. So I'm sure there's been times, I've accidentally eaten, a crumb or two of gluten because anytime you go to a restaurant, I've said this before, I know I'm repeating myself, anytime you go to a restaurant that's not allergen free, you're obviously going to get some degree of cross-contamination beyond the 20 parts per million, which is the FDA standard, because in a pizza parlor, in a bakery, in a restaurant, nice big ass restaurant like the big ass cigar, you're gonna get, there is flour in there. There's flour in there. There's cross contamination. And I have a family member, not going to say the person's name, who does baking, and she won't do gluten free baking because her environment is entirely flour. So and wheat flour. So like big ass flour, like the big ass cigar. So it's like it's almost impossible to avoid to avoid cross contamination entirely unless you're willing to be like a zealot about it, like a fanatic or extremist, whatever you want to call it, that kind of BS. It's like it's almost impossible to avoid it entirely because I mean I'm not going to live my life under a freaking rock, like a rock, and be like I can't even go out to a restaurant. Obviously, if I had a life-threatening allergy where if I ate even a crumb of gluten, I would have to have like an EpiPen stabbed into me, which is a adrenaline pen to avoid going to anaphylactic shock. Then obviously it would be non-negotiable. I would have to avoid it entirely. But you know what? I'm not going to live like a recluse, and not even go to a restaurant or a buffet, a nice big ass buffet like the big ass cigar. So it's like I do my darndest, I do my hardest, my damnedest to avoid cross contamination. If I saw crumbs on mashed potatoes or on fruit, whatever, obviously I would not eat it because that is clearly cross-contamination. But if I go to a restaurant or like an ice cream parlor and I ask for a soft serve ice cream, nice big ass ice cream like a big ass cigar, I'm not going to be worried like OMG, OMFG, is this going to be cross-contaminated? That's living under a rock. And unless you're somebody who's life-threatening, like people who have peanut allergies, I'm doing a series right now on Sundays about food allergies. It's like, unless you're somebody who has a life-threatening allergy, I mean, then obviously you have to be, strict about it. You have to be non-negotiable because it's an issue. It's an issue of life or death. So, but for somebody like me, where there might be a small amount of damage done, I'm not going to live under a rock and be like a fanatic about it because that's not living in the real world. It's like I'm sure that it's just like there's a risk with everything. So, big ass year of life. I'm very happy with going for diet. Bye.